Hey, it's Cody. I'm here to discuss my August decks and books and just things that I am going to be working with for the month of August. First, I did get to go to the Renaissance Festival during the month of July, and did get a couple things I was kind of excited to show. All right, so I got two crystals. No one cares about this but like me, so maybe you do. If not, that's fine. This is a mushroom, and it is moss agate. I have a smaller one that's also moss agate, so I thought it was really cool to find that. I've also been having like this weird love of garnet lately. Okay, well, this isn't picking it up very well, but it is fucking beautiful. Also, okay, well, let me show you this one first. I did pick up a kalimba there. This is sometimes called a finger piano. Contrary to popular belief, this is not an African instrument itself. This is the Western version of the African mbira, which is made very similar. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out songs on it. I look up some tabs, but like, no thanks. Let's see if I can play a little something. Oh my god, I might end up cutting this part out. Okay, well, I fucked up a little bit. That was my very own little version of a song called Over and Under by Cole McGuinness, so it was poorly done also. I was so fucking excited with this thing. Okay, the last thing that I got from the Renaissance Festival is this handmade clay. I don't even know. Tray. So the weird story with this is, okay, it was this year before going to the Renaissance Festival and last year before going. I had a weird dream where I was in like this fucked up dream version of the Renaissance Festival, and I remember finding something to do with the goddess Isis, and I was like, hell yeah. So I went last year specifically looking for something to do with Isis. I ended up getting like this pendant, but I had the dream again this year, so I'm like, oh, that must not have been the right thing. Well, I feel like this might be it. I'm thinking of Isis. We've got her Ankh, her key of life here. We've got the scarab. This is kind of reminding me, I'm not exactly sure what it was intended to be, but it makes me think of like maybe the Nile, right? And movement. You know, maybe if you throw something in a river, it goes away, kind of. I don't know. So I have not completely figured out exactly what it is I'm going to be doing with this yet, besides enjoying it as a beautiful piece on my altar. And hopefully this is what I was supposed to be finding there. Alright, so, sorry, I gotta put this. If that falls, I'm going to freak the fuck out. July has been a fucking hideous month. It's just been, I don't know, man. Things large and small went wrong. And it's been fucking exhausting. All right. Okay, so let's talk about books really quick. Oh my god, we're a little bit close. We'll back up. Oh wow. Okay. This is called Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in a series called Rook and Rose. I mentioned this last month that I was working my way through this book and also the second one because the third and final book in this series comes out August 15th, and I'm fucking so excited for it. These books, like, I don't know how more strongly to try and encourage people to read these because they're so fucking well done. Like, it's actually written by two people. M.A. Carrick are actually two different authors who've been previously published. And it's just, it's so, like, complex, but in the best ways. I don't know how else to explain that. There's, like, a whole magic system with, like, numerology in it. There are, like, card readings they called pattern readings or a pattern deck. And the pattern readers do 3 lines of 3 cards. The first is, here is you future, the good of it, the ill of it, and that which is neither. There's the good, the ill, and that which is neither of your present, and then also the future, which I think is really fucking cool. There's like I would call it more of a ceremonial magic where you have to like draw a circle on the floor and stuff. Like before they start that, there's like a little saying, shit, I tried to remember it and now I think I forgot it. It's like I have my chalk, my compass, my edge, and myself. I need nothing more to know the cosmos or something like that. It's so cool. I love so much about these books. There's no fan art. There's no like anybody out there enjoying these books. I'm just alone reading these 600-page books all by myself. But anyway, the third one's coming out. It's called The Labyrinth's Heart. And the cover is basically just a face with a mask that is purple. So, anyway, I did finish both of these this month. You might be like, how did you finish 1,200 pages worth of books plus 2 others? When normally I'm like, I don't have time to read. Well, it quite literally has to do with how much I enjoy what I'm fucking reading. That's the truth of it. I dropped those on the floor. On purpose. Alright, okay. I want to talk about this book a little bit because I think I hated it. Okay. This is Juniper and Thor by Ava Reed, who also wrote The Wolf and the Woodsman. So The Wolf and the Woodsman was, I think it was a pretty common type of like romance in a fantasy setting. There was some allegorical anti-Semitism. There was, there were some things in it, but ultimately I don't think that book really stood out much. Like I barely remember how it was different than like 16 other books I read around that time. And so this is actually her second book, and I was like, this might be kind of interesting. It says on the back it was something about sisters. And it was a dark retelling of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, The Juniper Tree. So I'm like, all right, we're going to have some fuckery in here. This book, okay, I'm going to tell you something. I try and avoid, like, BookTube and BookTalk and Bookstagram and all that stuff. And even, like, Goodreads if I picked up a book. Because I don't want somebody else's thoughts to, like, spoil what I think about a book. And also, those, like, communities tend to pick books that suck ass and really push them for a long time. So for the most part, I ignore that. I avoid that whole thing. On this one, honestly, I kind of wish that I had, because the amount of like content and trigger warnings would have at least like sort of prepared me for what the fuck I was about to read. Like, I finished this book a couple days ago. I'm still not exactly sure what the flying fuck I just read. In a bad way, though. Like, sometimes I'm like, damn, what the hell was that? But I was happy. I did not enjoy myself reading this book. I wanted something. I thought this was going to be, like, maybe a cute little story about sisters and, like, somebody got fucking poisoned under a juniper tree, right? No. No. So, it's like, alright, we'll just... I want to take a minute to talk about this book. I'm sorry. We have fucking content warnings for this shit. There is fucking disordered eating. There is very graphic and long descriptions of sexual assault. There's, like, domestic violence. There's, like, every single thing in this book was super, like, sexualized. But, like, not sexy. I don't know how else to fucking explain that. I can't tell you the amount of times I read the word maidenhood in this fucking book. I had to read about, like, people spilling seed repeatedly. Like, I read at least 2 paragraphs about twitching thighs and somebody's boner in a pair of tights. Like, but it wasn't... I always thought that I was an asexual that was, like, not sex repulsed, but maybe I am, or else this book is just fucking gross. Like, I spent half of my life being like, ew, when I was reading this, I hate it. But, like, also I knew it would bother me if I didn't finish it. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that, like, oh, you shouldn't read this book, but I am saying I don't know who the fuck it was supposed to be for. Like, if I have had certain things happen to me in my lifetime, certain traumas, I would have absolutely fucking flipped running into some of the shit in this book. Like, it was... I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of want it away from me. Like, I don't even want the physical copy close to me. It's just... I don't know, man. The whole sexual assault scene was by a doctor also. Like, it's just... It's so much going on in here to hate. And, like, outside of that stuff, I feel... Okay, the story ultimately outside of that was not surprising or shocking at all. There's just so much, like, awful shit mixed in. I don't know, man. I could talk for a long time about this book and what I hated about it and why I think it didn't work. I don't think this book worked. I think this book was a disappointment, and also, if I could delete memories from myself, I would delete having read this. Alright, the last thing, I was trying to do a palate cleanser after reading that bitch. So I read this, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Maxey? I don't know, man. Okay, so, like, there's literally people that are like, this is my favorite book. My question, I guess, is why people made such a big fucking deal of this book. Like, if you've seen the inside of it, it's like illustrations that are okay. There's somebody's kind of weird and shitty half cursive handwriting, which kind of makes it a bit difficult to read. It's just sort of like these little platitudes about love on each page. So, like, surely this book will comfort me after the fucking horrors I read in the other one. No, I was actually kind of disappointed by this, too, so, like, not to be a fucking asshole, but I am one. For this upcoming month, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna fucking read. I don't have any books lined up at the moment. I already told you that I put down Protection Reversal Magic by Jason Miller. It's actually in a pile to go to, like, fucking Goodwill or something. Jason Miller's writing, just the thoughts in his head are fucking irritating. I stumbled across his Facebook page, and it literally made me want to gag, so that was that. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm waiting for August 15th. I don't know, man. I'll probably just reread some shit that I've already read, so that sucks. Alright, I'm on to decks. I've only got 4 of them after all of that bitching about books and stuff. So here those come. First deck that I am working with, this is the Herb Crafter's Tarot. I colored the edges of this with an alcohol marker. I don't remember which one. Ooh, it's starting to rain now. I don't know if you can hear it. This is very much a late summer sort of deck for me. To admit something terrible, I let my garden die this year. Like, it just... multiple over 100-degree Fahrenheit days in a row. Like, watering really just wasn't doing shit. Like, it... And finally, I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck this. Fuck all of this. Can you have seasonal depression in the summer? Because I feel like I do. Man, I never feel sad or any of that stuff. I just stop giving a fuck about things I normally am really into, and that's how I'm like, oh no, a problem. Anyway, once the weather starts cooling down, I'm sure I will feel better. But also, I have, like, this weird guilt seeing this, because normally around this time of year, like, my garden is in full, like, production mode. I'm getting peppers and tomatoes and, you know, the seasonings and fucking, herbs and shit. Now instead there's some little dry sticks. My mint plant has survived. And 1 tomato plant, so I don't know, man. So, yeah, I feel, like, kind of guilty seeing these, like, flourishing plants and the fact that I just let mine die, like... Exhausting, that's what. Okay, so this deck is one of those decks that's so rare for me that I actually like the minor arcana better than the majors. The minors are all, like, they have, like, a scene, if that makes sense. It's like something actually happening. Or the plants growing, the plants themselves growing, or even the court cards are nice. But then if we get to, okay, this one's not bad, but, like, the majors, let's see if we can find some majors so I can bitch about them real quick, because I might as well. Okay, what's going on here? They're more like a flat lay kind of photo, or like kind of, what the hell? Oh, that was my card from yesterday that I put in the wrong fucking way. I don't know. I like the minors better in this deck. I think they're beautiful. There's, like, some sort of action. This deck just feels so... I don't know. I love it. And I have waited... I think it was the last 2 years. Maybe the last 3. I don't remember when this came out. Oh, the date's on here, huh? 2019. So yeah, I would say probably the last 2 years, and this one. Like, I excitedly wait for late summer when it's time to pull this deck out. Like, it's... I love it. And the guidebook is really good too. I didn't grab it, but yeah. Oh my god, I almost did that. So that is the first deck that I will be working with. The next deck is... This is the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle. This is an indie deck. If you'd like to come out, I would appreciate it. This is very much a shadow work sort of deck. Like, it's the titles and things sort of tend to skew negative. And I feel like they're just very nice and succinct warnings for things. And I'm just really have been into this deck. A friend actually sent me this copy. It was not a creator of the deck. And I had missed the Kickstarter and stuff. And she sent me this deck, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I have not put it away. Like, there's a little shelf above my altar. You can see it in some of the videos I have, like, facing toward myself. It's in the background. That's where decks go that I keep out for just, like, ease of use. Some of them are sort of seasonal. There'll be ones I'll, you know, I have out for the summer or something like that. But some of them don't go away. I definitely will not be putting this away for the fall. I mean, that's really, I think, when this deck is going to be at its peak at performance. I don't know. I feel like the colors don't really trap it into a certain season for me. So it just feels like the kind of deck that I could just always keep out. Like, sometimes if I'm being an asshole, I can be like, what's going on? Like, and this deck will just tell me. You know, there's no weird fuckery. Oh, I love this one. Ooh, this one too. I really hope you can hear the rain right now. It's kind of windy though too. It has been over 100 degrees for days on end. I am not built for this fucking weather, okay? I can't fucking do it, man. Alright, we'll put her away. The next deck that I will be working with for the month of August is the Local Honey Picture Box, an Oracle deck and self-love toolkit by Emily Wilcox. This deck's Kickstarter just launched July 29th, I think. So you do have pretty much through the rest of this month, the month of August 2023, to back this if you're interested in it. This is a very cool deck. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this because my camera... I say camera like I have a camera, like it's not my fucking shitty old Android on a little stand. Can't focus on it. This deck has been so helpful. Like, this has been a fucking hard month for me, and I have reached for this deck quite often, and it's exactly what I feel like is something I've been looking for in a deck. Like, how much do you trust yourself, right? I mean, self-trust is an important thing. I love, like, the artwork of being... First of all, there's, like, background fuckery that it's the, like, railroad tracks. It's upside down. But also, this guy is, like, catching himself. You know what I mean? Like, I just... Something about this deck is so... I've never run into another deck that works the way that this one does. So this was an advanced copy that the creator sent me. I'm under no obligation to, like, say good things about it if I don't like it, if that makes sense. Like, I would not do that to you guys. I do, probably a few videos ago now, have an unboxing and, like, an initial walkthrough of this deck. If you're interested in seeing every single card. I don't really want to go through all of them. Also, I feel like the Local Honey Picture Box is such a weird name for a deck. Like, it gets stuck in my head. Have you ever gotten phrases stuck in your head? Like, it's, yeah. This deck, the colors are kind of summery, but I don't foresee a time when I'm gonna be like, you know what, I think that I'm gonna put this deck away. Like, the way that it functions is not seasonal. So there is that. Also, while I'm putting this deck away, I am really hoping that at some point during the month of August, the Shadow Edition of the Moonchild Tarot by Danielle Noel that I pre-ordered will finally come in. So I am really hoping that that also is going to be able to be a deck that I work with. The last deck that I already have in my possession that I'm going to be working with this month is the Compendium of Witches Oracle. This deck, it came out, and I was confused, kind of, because there were two very different, like, styles in here. I would see some that looked like this, and I'm like, hell yeah, what deck is that? But then I would look the deck up, and I would see, like, oh my god, this stuff, and I'm like, what's going on? Are these two different decks? Or, no, it turns out, there are voices and whispers. So, like, these are almost, well, it's split 50-50. There's 30 of each, but it's almost more like a major versus minor arcana, right? These cards hold more weight, and these are just little commentary, maybe, kind of around the sides. So, maybe they're, less than even, like, a minor arcana card in, like, a tarot deck. This deck, I kept looking at it, but I was confused. I'm not really a fan of decks that have, like, stark white backgrounds, even though the artwork on this is beautiful, until somebody, might have been an unboxing or something, or it was a video, I think it was Owl Moon 513, or however, 513, I don't know, and she said that this deck sort of reminded her of the Weaver's Oracle. And I was like, oh shit, I guess I do need that deck. So I did get it, just literally because of that comment. I have to say that I disagree. I definitely do not get similar vibes at all. I mean, there's sort of, like, witches that you get information about. It really doesn't have all of the background stuff that the Weaver's Oracle has. But I feel like it could be used in the same way. Personally, if you have not seen it, I use the Weaver's Oracle, which is quite a pricey, independently published deck, as a new moon pull to sort of guide me for the next 28 days. And this is a much more affordable option. I mean, you could do that with any deck, but the deck's got to have enough, like, complexity. It's got to have enough meat to really dig into one idea for a full moon cycle, if that makes sense. So I really like the art style on this deck. It's definitely, almost everyone here is white. Yeah. From the guidebook, oh my god, someplace, you know what, let me just look, I got it right here. The creator made this, the Highlands of Bosnia. So this was anthropological fieldwork. It took me to the rural highlands of Bosnia. The object of the research was to learn as much as I could about traditional female tattooing in the area. So, I mean, I guess I get why there's mostly white people, because Bosnia, I mean, I think this is one of, like, 2 non-white people. I will say something real quick, though. On the back of this box, where does it say? Somewhere it talks about how many pages. Oh, yeah, right here. 176 page color companion book. However, this is published by Los Scarabeo, and I will let you know that those 176 pages are all, like, this whole thing is 176 pages, and the English portion is pages 7 through 48. So, it's got 5 different languages, but it's not 176 pages in your language. So that's kind of, like, it's misleading, and it's just some fuckery, honestly, that I don't appreciate. Shit's setting me off lately. Okay, I'm sorry to be bitchy all the time, but it's fucking hot. I'm tired of bullshit. Alright, so anyway, these are the decks I'm going to be working with. I'm going to work with this one some. I mean, it's not going to replace my Weaver's Oracle by any means, but I do see how a person could theoretically use it in a similar, you know, new moon or whatever drawing. That, if you even are into using a deck like that. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry there are only 4 decks to show you this month, ultimately. I'm kind of hoping for a 5th one, that Shadow Edition of the Moonchild Tarot, to come in. And yeah, I mean, if I get anything else new, which I might this month, I'll show it. So, thanks for watching, bye.